Off with what is your name and what content and grade level have you taught?
So my name is Stacy Colony. I'm a professor here at Stockton, but before coming to Stockton, I was a high school math teacher. I did that for 11 years, and I taught a big variety of math courses. And then I went into administration for 8 years. So I was in the same district for 19 years before coming here to Stockton full time. I've been here for 3 years, so I think that puts me on year 22.
So you've taught 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as a teacher, can you describe your PLN?
So my PLN has kind of evolved over the past few years. I used to really rely on, as a teacher, I relied on my colleagues in the schools. And we had, in-services and professional development days. And I used to go to a lot of conferences. And while I still do that now, higher education is a little bit more independent. So while we still have meetings and we still have professional development here, and I still go to conferences, I find that my PLN is very much electronic and distance. And I'm doing my doctorate right now in curriculum and instruction, and that's an online program. So a lot of my colleagues or my go-to group, my go-to network is out in Arizona, and we communicate, via Skype or in chats, group chats. I really rely a lot on online learning and podcasts and educational blogs. That's my really big go-to now.
So you found that really helpful, just using electronics
Absolutely.
instead.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how would you say your PNL has supported your teaching throughout the years?
So even if I wasn't in this doctoral program, I really have no choice. I do have a choice. I'm choosing to do this, but because my doctorate is within curriculum and instruction, it's directly related to my current job. So I'm learning about pedagogy, and while I'm learning more about pedagogy, I'm becoming more of an expert, and I'm able to share that with my current students who are also learning about pedagogy. So it all fits really, really nicely. But this time next year, when hopefully dissertation is done and I'm done with that program, I never foresee myself, I'm almost 25 years in and I have never stopped learning. So I don't see that changing. I don't know if I'm going to go for another degree, but I will definitely continue to use that PLN and to keep learning. We always tell our students, take risks, put yourself out there, be creative, keep learning for the love of learning, and we just need to remind ourselves to do the same thing.
Exactly. So what advice and recommendations would you give to the new teacher entering the profession, and what they can do for their PLN just starting out?
Right. So one of the things that I always tell my students, my education students, is that you need to steal, right? You need to steal ideas from other people and give credit. It's okay to steal if you give credit, right? You need to cite your sources and give credit where credit is due. But you can't go into education and think that you're going to create every worksheet and create every single unit from scratch for everything that you teach. You'll never survive. You will burn out before the end of the first year. So it's important to have that network of people. You need to go to your mentor when you become a teacher. You need to make friends within your department. You need to, if you're in elementary, you need to, figure out who your unit is. And work with your team. If you're in secondary, if you're at higher in the high school, you need to meet with your department and you need to share assessments and activities. I also have a joke in my education classes that you need to stay off of Pinterest. Because while Pinterest is a great resource, it is very overwhelming, and you can get lost in the sea of information and ideas. So you need to just kind of take it step by step, lean on the people who have done it in the past, your peers, your coworkers,
and just use them as resources,
right? And slowly build up your toolbox. But really, the first year or 2 years is just.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and just kind of building your foundation. When you think about building a house, you start with a really strong foundation and then you build gradually. And that's what you need to do within your career as well.
Any last thoughts or?
If no, if you are in education, then you must be passionate. You must love kids. You must love teaching, um, and you must reach out. You must have support. That old saying of just let me close the door and teach can definitely be misinterpreted. That is really good philosophy when you're talking about becoming frustrated with, new initiatives at the state level, or you don't agree with something that your administration in your
Hmm.
district has done. Like instead of getting upset and frustrated about that, yes, we close the door and we remember the kids and we just teach. But in terms of reaching out and getting support from your peers, that should not be the case. You need to venture out into other teachers' classrooms and build that network.
Exactly. Thank
Yeah,
you so
you're
much for
welcome.
telling us about your experience in the
You're
classroom.
welcome.